Hello students, today we are on to the second video of haloalkane haloarine. Today we are continuing with preparation of haloalkanes. In the last video we have discussed about preparation of haloalkanes from alcohols. Today we are talking about the remaining methods, right? Alkane. So suppose I take the basic alkane, say methane. From methane if I have to prepare, I'll take normal any halogen. Let me take say chlorine. The reaction will occur in the presence of sunlight. This reaction we have done in 11th class also. Okay, this occurs in the presence of sunlight and you get first CH3Cl and one H and one Cl will come out. Right? Then again you will add one more chlorine because still hydrogen is there. Again one HCl will come out. You will get CH2Cl2. Again we can add one more chlorine. One HCl again will come out, one H and Cl will come, you will get CHCl3, then again still one more H is there, so one more chlorine added. In the presence of sunlight, when H and one Cl comes out, you get CCl4. So in a way what is happening? One by one all hydrogens are getting substituted by chlorine. And we have done in 11th class, this is following free radical substitution reaction. This is free radical substitution reaction. So this chlorine will generate free radical. That free radical will attack this, take one H from there, and again one more free radical will be generated, and so on. It continues. Okay, you can just refer to the mechanism which we have done in class 11, free radical substitution reaction. Now this is a simple alkane, children, we have taken, where we have one carbon atom. You are getting this methyl chloride, this is methylene chloride, or we can call this as dichloromethane, chloroform trichloromethane, carbon tetrachloride or tetrachloromethane. Okay, so you are getting mixture of the products. You are getting mixture of the products. You are getting number of the products. So here one question can be asked, why preparation of alkyl halide by halogenation of alkane is not a preferred reaction? It is not preferred reaction. Why? Okay, so what will you write? You get mixture of the products, and these products which you are getting, the difference in boiling point is quite less. So since the difference in the boiling point is less, it's difficult to isolate them. It is very difficult to isolate the products which you are getting. So we will not be getting pure, alkyl halides. Right? Now, suppose the number of the carbon atom is more than. Suppose we take 3 carbon atom alkane, that is normal propane we have taken. Halogenation we are carrying out. There are 2 types of carbon atoms in this. This is 1 degree carbon atom, this is 2 degree carbon atom. Okay, so 1 degree, 2 degree. You may get chlorine at 2 degree carbon atom like this product, or you may get chlorine here. This hydrogen can be substituted by chlorine, that is 2 degree product. This is 1 degree, this is 2 degree. Okay, so both products you are getting. Which one should be the major product? We know that 2 degree free radical is more stable. If you have 3 carbon atom, this free radical is more stable than primary free radical. So you will find that this is comparatively a major product. This is, of course, the difference is not much. This is 55%, this is 45%. So if we are asking which is more in amount, then this one is more in amount. Is it clear? Likewise, you can compare with 4 carbon atom also. Normal propyl or secondary. Which will be more? Secondary will be more. Okay, suppose you have like this. You have 4 carbon atom alkane, and you carry out its halogenation in the presence of light. You are heating it. Right? When you are heating it, which will be the major product, children? Secondary. This will be the minor product. Why? I told you secondary free radical is more stable. So this will be the major product. Here the difference is slightly more. This is 72% and this is 28%. Okay. But that question remains that this method is not suitable because it gives lot of products. The difference in the boiling point is less. Another reason question can be asked here. Suppose you have this methane and we want to carry out its iodination. Right? So the question asked is iodination is always carried out in presence of oxidizing agent like iodic acid, HiO3, or HNO3. This is a question asked. Iodination is always carried out in the presence of oxidizing agents. Why? The reason for that is iodination is reversible process. So what you get is this plus Hi. So since it is reversible, the product obtained will be lesser in amount. Okay, because the products themselves also will start reacting and form the reactant. So what will be this doing? Oxidizing agent. This oxidizing agent, if I write, will be oxidizing that Hi. It will be oxidizing this Hi and will result in the formation of iodine. It will result in the formation of iodine. So what it is doing? Oxidizing agent is removing the product. The product is being removed and it is generating the reactant. So as per Le Chatelier's principle, what we say, when the product is removed and the reactant is added, the equilibrium will shift in the forward direction. So you will get more quantity of alkyl iodide. Got it? So iodination is always carried out in the presence of strong oxidizing agent, because oxidizing agent will oxidize Hi to form I2. Product is removed, reactant is added, so the equilibrium will shift in the forward direction. Clear? Okay. Then another question asked is about fluorination. About fluorination. Now what is the question asked here? Fluorination cannot be carried out easily. It is never carried out, cannot be carried out directly. Now why? We are going to discuss why it cannot be carried out directly. Because we know fluorine bond enthalpy is very less because of more repulsion between non-bonding electron pairs. So the reaction is very violent, explosive. The reaction is explosive. It's violent reaction, uncontrollable. That is why whenever the reaction is to be carried out with fluorine, this is diluted with some inert gas. It is diluted with inert gas like nitrogen or argon. This is the next reason question I have discussed here. This is one reason question. This is next reason question. Iodination cannot be carried out directly because the reaction, the fluorine bond dissociation enthalpy is very less. The reaction is explosive, violent reaction. So if it is to be carried out either with halogen exchange, which we are going to discuss, or fluorine should be diluted with some inert gas to reduce its reactivity, then this can be done. Halogen exchange also we will be discussing shortly. Next method we are taking is from alkene. If we have to prepare alkyl halide from alkene, then we take simple alkene, ethene. To this ethene, if we are adding HX, hydrogen halide, if it is a simple alkene, that is a symmetrical alkene, then no problem, you can add HX like this or HX here, you will get the same product. So here not at all an issue. You are getting ethyl iodide, haloethane. But in case you are having some unsymmetrical alkene. Unsymmetrical alkene means where there is a carbon-carbon double bond, you can divide into two equal halves. It is symmetrical. When you are dividing, you are not getting similar halves. That means it is unsymmetrical. When I put a line here, you are not getting two equal halves. It is unsymmetrical alkene. Now, when we are talking about unsymmetrical alkene and we have to add here, say, HX, right? Then how should we add? Should we write here X like this, means X should be added here, H should be added here, or hydrogen should be added here, halogen should be added here? Wherever there is a doubt in organic chemistry, there is a rule. So this is a wrong method. The first method is not followed. The second method is correct. This is correct way of adding. Why? Because there is a rule, Markovnikov's rule. There is Markovnikov's rule. Okay. Markovnikov, or in some books you will find KOV. Markovnikov's rule. Okay, what does this rule say? It says the electronegative part of whatever you are adding will add to the carbon containing less number of hydrogens and hydrogen to the carbon containing more number of hydrogens. So what will you get here? CHX, and this will be CH3. This side will be CH3. That means 2-halopropane is a major product. This is a major product. Why it is so? It says hydrogen adds on first. When hydrogen adds on first, so there are two possibilities. If I write the mechanism of this, then I will write hydrogen may add here. Suppose hydrogen is adding here, right, this side or this side. So there are two different possibilities of, the carbocations form. Suppose I add hydrogen here, I am getting this as H, and this becomes a carbocation. Or another possibility is CH3. I add now hydrogen here. The first possibility NC. CH2, then I get a carbocation here. This is 1 degree carbocation, this is 2 degree carbocation. So 2 degree carbocation is more stable. So this will be preferred. And if this is formed, so in this actually when you are adding HX, H adds on first. So H will prefer adding here because this is giving a secondary carbocation. Now to this secondary carbocation, X minus will attack. So where will this X minus attack? On the carbon containing positive. So you will get this as the major product. This is the Markovnikov's rule, which is applicable for what? For unsymmetrical alkenes for the addition of HX. That what is this HX? It can be any hydrogen halide, you can say hydrogen fluoride, chloride, bromide, or iodide. Suppose you are adding this HX to some alkyne. Say this is alkyne. This is also, unsymmetrical. It is having unsaturation. So even whenever there is an unsaturation present, whether alkene or alkyne, you will have this, Markovnikov's rule applicable. So if I add HCl, the first H will add here, negative part will attack the carbon atom having less number of hydrogen. So you will have CH3, C, Cl. When one molecule added, it will be double bond now, and H2. Still there is unsaturation. So one more HCl can add on here. You will have again Markovnikov's rule, CH3, C. You will have here 2 chlorines added, and here you will have H3. Got it? Now, if you add CH3, CH, double bond, CH2. Now to this, suppose there is HBr addition occurring in the presence of peroxide. This is only applicable for peroxide. In the presence of peroxide, HBr addition in the presence of peroxide. We have discussed in class 11 why only for peroxide. It is following anti-Markovnikov's rule. It is following anti-Markovnikov's rule. Markovnikov's rule, which is also called as Kharash effect. It's also called as Kharash effect. Now what does this rule say? It is against Markovnikov. That means the negative part will attack the carbon atom having more number of hydrogens. So what you get here is CH3, CH2, single bond CH2, Br. That means Br will go to the carbon having more hydrogens, and hydrogen will go to the carbon having less number. It is against Markovnikov's rule. Now why it is only applicable for HBr addition, not for HF and HCl and HI? Because HF and HCl bonds are strong, it will not break. HI bond breaks, it results in the formation of iodide, I free radical, and two of them will again combine and give I2. Because we know that it is following free radical mechanism. It is following free radical mechanism. Okay, so we will discuss the mechanism. Now we'll see the steps. This is benzoyl peroxide. Benzoyl, this is benzoyl. C6H5CO group is benzoyl. This is peroxide. Benzoyl peroxide. So this undergoes free radical, homolytic fission. It will undergo homolytic fission. It will result in the formation of benzoyl, C6H5COO group. It will result in the formation of C6H5COO group. It has formed the free radical. By homolytic fission, you get free radical. Now the C6H5COO group further breaks from here and it results in the formation of carbon dioxide and this phenyl free radical, and it forms phenyl free radical. This phenyl free radical C6H5 dot then reacts with HBr, with which we were carrying out the addition reaction. Okay, and this whatever is a free radical is more reactive. It pulls H from here. When it pulls H from here, this becomes benzene and bromine free radical. This is chain initiation step. This is initiation. Chain initiation. It's initiation step. Okay. Next step. What happens? This Br free radical then adds on to the unsymmetrical alkene. It may add here or may add here. If Br adds here, you will get 1 degree free radical. If Br adds here, you will get 2 degree free radical. This is 2 degree free radical, which is more stable. So I have written a stable product. That will be the major product. So this free radical which is formed, this is propagation step which is taking place. It is propagation step. Okay, so what free radical is obtained? Secondary free radical. This will now react with another HBr molecule, will take H from here and complete it. It will form 1 bromopropane and Br free radical will be generated, which may carry out further reaction, or in the termination whatever free radicals are there, they can also combine and form bromine. Okay, so this is only applicable, that HBr addition in the presence of peroxide. Anti-Markovnikov rule will be applicable, which is also called as Kharash effect. Else, if any other X is added, it is always Markovnikov's rule. Now, one very good question we are going to discuss. Suppose children, you are asked this alkene. It's more branch type alkene, carbon-carbon double bond. It is of course unsymmetrical alkene, and just adjacent to the carbon atom you are having some more branches also. If HBr addition, don't think of anti-Markovnikov, it is just HBr, means it is Markovnikov's rule only. So if we are adding as per Markovnikov's rule, what product we are likely to write? H here, negative part attacks the carbon atom having less number of hydrogen. So we would be writing this as the product CH and single bond. This will be CH3 and we will be writing Br here. Okay, this is according to the Markovnikov's rule. This is according to Markovnikov's rule we have written the product, but this will be wrong. This will be a wrong answer. Then what? Keep in mind, when there is a carbon-carbon double bond, the adjacent carbon, if you are having some adjacent carbon where there are some hydrogens attached, where possibility of shifting that H or methyl group, it will prefer undergoing hydride shift or methyl shift. Right, this is only applicable not for 3 carbon atom. You must be thinking why we did not discuss. If it was only 3 carbons, that means suppose it was only CH3 CH double bond this one. If we were adding HBr, no question, H and Br directly we are adding. Okay, then you will get 2 bromo only, because even if this shifts, you are getting here primary carbocation, right? So only if it is 4 carbon atom, carbon-carbon double bond is there on the side, and just on the next carbon atom you have hydrogen and methyl group also present, then this rule will be applicable. What we are discussing just now, just see. As per Markovnikov's, what is the first step, children? H adds on. H will add on. This was the original alkene. Let me explain the mechanism. We were adding HBr. So out of that, definitely, children, H plus will be adding first. So H plus can add here or here. Definitely it will prefer adding here, because this is generating 2 degree carbocation. So that I will do. This is CH3. Okay, this is of course one hydrogen here. You are having H you are having H2. This will add here only. You are getting 2 degree carbocation. 2 degree carbocation is more stable. You are perfectly all right. Now, what happens is, we were planning this way and bromine we were thinking will be attacking here. But now, this is the carbon containing double. Not on this side. This is H3 now, right? Okay. Not on the right hand side. On the left hand side, if there is this hydrogen present, this H along with that electron bond will be now H minus. This will be what? H minus. This H minus from here shifts to this position. This is called as hydride shift. This shifts to this position. If it shifts to this position, this carbon will develop positive charge. You see CH3, C, CH3, here carbon. So when this has gone here means now this is H2. This is CH3 and this carbon gets a positive charge. If positive was here, it was 2 degree carbocation. If positive is here, this is 3 degree carbocation, which is more stable. This is still more stable than the previous one. So this will be preferred. Now in the next step, that Br minus which was there will be attacking this carbon atom. So in this, we will be getting, Br here. This will be as such H2, this will be H3, this will be H3. Did you follow this? Okay. Carbon, carbon, double bond. On the next carbon, a total 4 carbon should be there. On the next carbon, there is H or methyl. Now you will ask why methyl did not shift. If here also, instead of H also there was methyl, then methyl would have shifted. Okay, in this question, if you shift methyl, then secondary carbocation will be here. So no problem. Here only hydride shift will occur. Okay, you don't think that methyl should be shifting here. If methyl shifts, you will get 2 degree carbocation here. So in this case, methyl shift doesn't occur, hydride shift occurs. Suppose instead of this, I will write with other pen. Suppose instead of this H, this was methyl. This was methyl. Then this methyl would have shifted here. Then this methyl would have shifted here. Got it? Then you will get the product. Is it clear? Right. If both were methyl, then methyl would have shifted. If one is H, then H will shift. Please note down this. It is important question. Next reaction we are doing is halogen exchange. There are 2 name reactions here. The first one what we are doing is Finkelstein's reaction. Finkelstein reaction. Now what is Finkelstein reaction? You take alkyl halide, that is chloride or bromide. You reacted with NaI in the presence of dry acetone and then just exchange is occurring. NaX plus Ri you get. Okay, now here one reason question is asked, why do we use dry acetone? We use dry acetone because what you are getting here is NaCl or NaBr. Depending upon what X you take here, you will get these as the precipitate. These are the precipitates. So what is this acetone doing? Acetone is helping, in precipitating these halides, chloride and bromide. And you are getting pure iodide. Then you must be thinking, why acetone is not able to precipitate this? You know what is acetone? Acetone is organic solvent. It is organic solvent, non-polar solvent. Right. Now if I say out of NaCl, NaBr and NaI, which is more covalent, which is most covalent, we know as per Fejan's rule, cation is same, more the bigger the size of the anion, more will be the covalent nature. So out of this is most covalent. So this being most covalent is comparatively more soluble in acetone. This is more soluble in acetone. Whereas what about chloride and bromide? They are not soluble. They are not soluble because these are ionic and this is covalent. So they are not soluble. That is why they are getting precipitated. Got it? So don't get confused here. This is the important name reaction. So in many reactions, when we say iodination cannot be carried out directly in the presence of oxidizing agent, only we have to carry out, or fluorination cannot be done. What you do? You converse, first prepare chloride bromide, carry out, iodination to prepare, carry out this Finkelstein's reaction to prepare iodide. There is one more halogen exchange reaction, children, we use, that is Schwarz reaction. You take here chloride or bromide again in the presence of metallic fluorides, which can be either silver fluoride, or we can use antimony fluoride, or cobalt fluoride, or you can use Hg2F2. These are all metallic fluorides we can use. Again, just the exchange, what you are getting is CH3F plus AgBr. Okay, this is another name reaction, that is Schwarz reaction. That is Schwarz reaction. Is this clear? Okay. So far, children, we have completed preparation of alkyl halides from alcohol, from alkane, from alkene, and the halogen exchange. Okay, one more thing. We have done addition of HXA to prepare alkyl halide from alkene. Suppose you want to prepare vicinal dihalides, you take this, and suppose I add, say, some halogen, say bromine, in the presence of CCl4, you will add on bromine here, you will get CH2, CH2, Br, Br. This is vicinal dihalide. In case you want to prepare, vicinal dihalides, then we will be using CCl4, bromine we will add. HX addition will give you mono substituted product. If you are adding bromine, it will give you di substituted. And this reaction also has importance. It is used as a test for unsaturation. It is used as a test for unsaturation. How? Bromine has reddish brown color. When we add this to alkene, it loses the color. Means when you add bromine in the presence of carbon tetrachloride to this, it decolorizes. The reddish brown color of bromine decolor, it disappears. Okay, and of course this is carbon tetrachloride, which is used to polarize it, polarize bromine and generate Br plus, because this is also a type of electrophilic addition reaction which we have discussed in class 11th in alkenes chapter. Okay, so I hope you have understood whatever we have discussed so far. Okay, and in the next video we will be talking about the preparation of haloarenes and physical chemical properties. Thank you for watching.